Okay. I'm
Go
going to
ahead.
talk about the strings. String is a collection of the characters, and string is also called a class. And string implements the character cache sequence interface. Cache sequence interface have the three subclasses that are string and string buffer and string builder. String objects are created in a two ways. One that is a string literal, and another one is a by using the new keyword. String literal
Okay, what
means
do you meant by this character sequence, Abhishek?
character sequence is an interface.
Okay.
It has some methods.
Okay, so you mean to say that we do have character sequence as an interface. For this particular interface, this would be implemented with the three classes. So
Yeah,
what are those classes? Is one is string, one is
string
string buffer, and one
and
is string builder.
string builder.
Okay, go ahead.
By using the literal means by using the double quotes, we write in between the double quotes we write the any text. It is called string literal. By using the new keyword means in new keyword we are allocating the memory in the heap for the string. It is by using the new keyword. So this is the basic string example, and I'm going to the immutable
What
string.
is the difference between that? See, now in that basic string, okay, now you created with the direct string, and then you have been created with the object. So what you will get out of this one? What is the difference between that?
Actually, it is stored in the stack memory. It is stored in the heap memory.
That will be stored in this string pool, line number 13. Strings will be stored in the string pool, not in the static memory, right?
Yeah,
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm going to now I'm going to explain with the immutable string. Immutable
What do you meant
string.
by immutable?
Immutable means unchangeable.
Excellent. Mutable means changeable. See,
Mutable
now
means
the
changeable.
coronavirus is mutable, means every day it was getting changing its pattern. So now immutable means it can't change. So
Uh,
that is the immutable. Yes.
String objects are the immutable because if you want to create any if we want to create any object for the string, uh, it can't change because these are the immutable. Suppose I create one string object Abhi and another string object Abhishek. I perform concat operation str with the str1. But it can't change. It print only Abhi. So that's why this is immutable. By using the string buffer and string builder, we can mutable the string objects. And now I'm going to talk
So
about
you mean to say that str plus, okay, go back to that example.
okay,
Use the plus operator and then concatenate, add that one. Okay, go to the line number 13, str plus in the system.println. No, in the line number 11 itself, you're printing str, right?
yes, sir.
Once you execute the program, okay, now str plus str1. What happened?
We'll append with the string str with the str1.
So now what it was happening is it can be appended. So you can join two strings, but you can't change that particular object because why?
Because string is immutable.
Bas, you tell me the reason. You're saying that it is immutable, but why? Okay, where this is stored?
Strings.
Sir, I
See,
have a doubt.
hmm.
Where will this Abhishek, like the result that we got now, where will it get stored? Because strings, you have individual IDs, individual locations, like in string pool, each, so if you see str and str1 will have separate locations.
Hmm.
So, but then, so when we do system out.println, where will this be stored? The concatenated
It
one.
will not stored at all.
Okay. So it's just
Just
executed.
bringing the value and printing here.
Okay.
Okay, now see now what here why it is immutable we need to understand. See, Abhishek is what he have done. STR he keep Abhi and STR1 he kept it as Abhishek, right? So now Abhi will store in 001 location. Abhishek will store in 007. This location is different. So that is means you can't means you can append the string and then you're trying to print it over here, but you can't change that particular string object. So now in 001 it is Abhi only. Still, even if, when you are printing this, it was going to 001 and then bringing Abhi, and from 007 it was bringing this Abhishek. That is not changed. The locations and these things are changed. Why it is immutable means every object will have its own copy of this. So that's the reason you can't change that one. Means if you wanted to change that one, now in line number 8, okay, give an enter. Enter str equal to Chris colon execute now. See what it happened. It overrides that one.
Yeah.
So now that object is here, right? In that particular object value. So now you remember, right? Object is a Xerox copy of this. So now in the string pool, so if you understand the string pool memory concept, you will be understanding this one. Don't worry, I'll explain about the string pools. Now this will be overriding that particular string. Means it's like a content, it's just like a value which we are assigned. So that particular value will be there. But for that particular object, if you have been trying to concatenate, that particular value means the object will not get concatenated. If it is a variable, then it can be concatenated. Object can't be concatenated. And as it's a different locations, so if you wanted, you can bring them and then print it. But you can't change that particular value into that one. I'll explain you when you explain about the string pools. Go ahead.
Sir, yes, now STR is Chris, right? So, but we know that strings are immutable. That is, if STR has, if Abhi is a location, you're just using STR to access it, right?
Yes.
So, so Chris will be like another location.
No. Same location, it override that particular value.
So instead of Abhi, Chris is there in 0.0001.
Yeah, 001. Instead of Abhi, now we changed it to Chris. That's the reason.
But it's immutable, right? We can't change it, right? So
I'll explain. I'll explain in the string pools when I was explaining that one. If I explain from the memory point of view, you'll understand this one.
Okay.
Why it is immutable, or why? I mean, see, no, you need to understand that string objects are immutable.
Okay.
String value here we Chris and Abhi are values or objects.
Values.
Objects are immutable, not values.
Okay.
Okay, I'll explain about that one. Don't worry.
Sir, please correct me if I'm wrong. I thought that in the string pool, if you create Abhi as a string, it actually creates that Abhi and references the object to that Abhi. And when you just create a new string Chris, then it creates a new Chris, and then it changes the reference towards Chris. I thought in that way. So is it wrong?
Also, if you see here in line number 9, I use the same variable as string, so which we have been declared at line number 8. See, that is what the object declaration, right? Now I didn't given any other declaration, so I'm still referencing to the same object. See,
so
you need
will not be in string pool.
It would be disconnected. It would be orphaned now.
Okay.
See, now you need to understand that one thing you need to remember. So here we are missing one particular pointer. What is that particular pointer is? See, now this is my object. So this is obj. This object was referring to first Abhi.
Yes, sir.
Now what I have did, I disconnected this reference, and I'm saying that this object can refer to Chris. So now we remove this reference. We pointed to this reference. This value, we are changing these values, but you still see this is not changed.
Yes, sir. So only the value, but the location will not be changed. Only the value will be changed.
Exactly. If you see here, that is what here he clearly mentioned. String objects are immutable, not string values are immutable.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay, now these are the values and these are the objects. If I
Yes.
explain about the string pool memory management system, you will understand this one very clearly. I'll explain about it. Okay,
Oh, okay, sir. Okay.
don't get confused. This is values, this is object.
Okay.
Objects are immutable, not the values.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And coming to comparisons, if you want to compare any two strings by using the three ways, by using the double equal operator and equals method and compare to method, I create a string objects for s1 is Abhi and s2 is in capital Abhi and s3 is Abhi and s4 is also Abhi. In by using the double equal operator, s1 double equal to s2, it is return the boolean value. Suppose if two strings are equal, it prints the true. If two strings are not equal, it prints the false.
Okay.
And by using the equals method, it will also same. S1 is equals to S4. It is also returns the boolean value. It will print the true. Suppose S1 equals ignore case. Suppose ignore case means it is in lowercase or uppercase. It will check with the letters. It is suppose it is
Equals to ignore case means it will ignore the
ignore
capital
the
or small letters and it will
yeah.
be. See, if I given capital A, small b, capital H, small I, will it be passed here in the line number 16?
Yes,
Yes, no.
yes, yes.
So it doesn't matter. So however you give, it ignores that. Capital B, small b, capital H, small I. So anything it will means it will not matter about your it will not about it even doesn't bother about your capital letters or small letters. Fine. I'm waiting for the comparative. Tell me.
And another one is comparative method. In comparative method, it returns the integer value. How,
Why?
how it returns means suppose S1 size integer value is equal to the S3 integer value. It prints the 0. S1 integer value is less than the S2 integer value. It prints the
How
minus
you are
1.
saying that less or greater?
By using the wrapper class of t, it will convert into the integer. String convert into the integer. Using the wrapper class.
Okay. Any other answers from you guys on this?
Sir, I think here it takes the indexes. So like, see, for Abhi in S1, it has 4 characters. In S3, it has three characters. So it basically compares both of them. And there is one extra character in Abhi, that is first one, S1. So when there is an extra character, it's like, it's giving me, you have one more index. So it's 1. And you have one less if it's AB, that will give us -1. I understood like that. I don't know if that's correct.
See guys, so here it compares the ASCII values and then gives the comparison values. Okay, so now here it takes for an example. Now if it is both exactly matched, it gives 0. If the ASCII values of this one is greater than, then it will gives you the plus. If the ASCII value is less than, then it will print you the minus. It all depends upon the first string. So if the ASCII value of the first string is greater, then it will, and the difference is there, then it will gives you the positive value. And if it is less, then it will give the negative value. It depends upon this value comparing to this one.
Sir, I have another doubt.
Yes.
So in the 12th line, he actually put S1 equal to S4, right? But the difference between equal to and equals is that equal to also, like, it gives true when they both are the same object, like they both have same reference, right? So this, if 12th line gives true, that means that S1 and S4 have same reference, right?
There is a difference between the both. I'll explain about that difference.
Okay.
Just give me the second. I was just wanted to let him complete. I'll explain about the difference between that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Coming to the concat operation, this is also two ways to concat the two or more strings. And in this, I created a one string, two string objects, str1 and str2. I stored Rohit and Sharma, and by using the plus operator, I append the strings. I concat the strings, and by using the concat method, in this concat the strings, str1 to str2.
Concatenation, yeah. So anyways, that is not okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Over both of it.
Okay, fine. Go ahead for the next one.
So is Abhishek completed?
Yeah.
Okay. So the next one is me, sir. So I'll share my screen.
Go ahead.
Actually, first I would like to share the website and then my Eclipse. So my topics are these four: substring, methods of string class, string buffer, and string builder class. So substring is just a straightforward method. So every string has these indexes starting from 0. So this one is 0 and this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, and it goes on like that. So if you give a single value, then it includes that value. I mean, if 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, from 6 onwards, it goes to the entire string. And if you give a starting value and the ending value, it includes the starting value and it excludes the ending value. I mean, it goes till 0 to 5. So it gives only such an. So coming to the Eclipse, sir, can you see my Eclipse screen?
No. I think I have been seeing only your Java point. You need to share completely.
Okay. Okay. So coming to the string methods. So this one is my string, hello Kaushi, and this one is a character array. So in strings, you can also make a new string using a character array. And then this is intern method. So what it does is that when you have this hello Kaushi, it returns the same thing for S2 also. That's the purpose of intern method. I mean, it's just similar to just giving it hello Kaushi. And then this new method actually creates a new object. And to compare that, I use the equal to operators here. So first I compared the S2 and S3. S2 and S3 in the sense it is this string literal and this new object. So it gave false because they are two different objects because I used new here. And then I compared S and S3, this first string and this new one. It also gave false. So because those two are also different objects, but when I compared this S and S2, they gave actually true because it's the same object.
Okay, just give the pause here.
Yes, sir.
Kaushik. So now
Yes,
here
sir.
by this you need to understand. See, this is the point where I have been waited. For an example, now here you're using this equal to.
Yes, sir.
And the previously we have been seeing that equals to.
Yes, sir.
Now you see here what it was happening equal to when you are using it. What is this?
So it actually checks the value of both, and also it checks whether both are same object.
What is this S2 and then what is this S3?
S2 is this dot intern method of this string. So it also has the same value, and this S3 also has the same value, but it's a different object.
So now you need to understand that you're trying to compare the different objects or different values. Now
Yes,
what
sir.
it will happen here, you need to understand this is, in memory, this object will be created. Where object will be created?
Heap memory.
In the heap memory. Now this is obj1 and this is obj2. Means in your case it is S2 and then S3.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now when you use this equal to, it will go to this particular object and it will verify the value in this particular object location. It will point to your memory.
Okay.
Get that value and then it will compare that values.
Okay.
Now equal to, what it will try to do is, it's a exact apple to apple comparison, means content verification.
Yes,
But
sir.
here this content is there, is this content is there. So this equal to verification is at the content level. But
Yes.
when you compare this double equal to, this will not validate your value actually. It will go to this particular object memory location. In this memory, what is the value and what is the value? This will take, and then it will do the comparison. If you wanted to do it in an object level, so this is the comparison which you need to use it. If it is just a string comparison you wanted to do it, so then you'll do this comparison.
Yes, sir. So I have another doubt. So, but I use the same value for all of them. For this also hello quotient, for this also same. New string I gave hello quotient only.
Now, what is the question?
Means you told that if I consider S and S3 as two different objects, it goes to the S and it has the value hello quotient. And for S3 also it goes to the object and it has the value hello quotient.
See, now you need to see that S3, you created an object here. Okay. I created an obj1 and I created an obj2.
Yes,
here
sir.
I kept Chris.
Yes,
and
sir.
here I kept it as Chai.
Okay.
Okay. Now this object hold this value. This object hold this value.
Yes, sir.
In the memory, means in the this is my heap memory. In heap memory, in my obj1, I have Chris. And for this, I'll have an address of 001 and obj2. And I have the address of 002.
Okay,
Now,
sir.
when you use obj1 equal to obj2, now equal to you doing it, right? Now
Yes,
it will point to your memory. In this memory, what is there? Chris is there. In this memory, what is there? Chai is there. Now, these is both equal? No. Then what it will return?
False.
False. Now, if it is both Chris and Chris, then it will return true. So this is how the equal to comparison will happen. It will go to the internal to the memory object level and then it do the comparison. And whereas this is, it's a core, means it will not go about the memory, this stuff, it's not required for this. Whether this content is there, is it exactly the same or not? This is what the content verification will happen. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now, compare to, what do you mean by compare to? Compare to is a lexicographical comparison. What do you mean by lexicographical comparison? Means in mathematics there is an algorithm. So when you wanted to compare it, do the things, it will say that A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. This would be a slight confusing topic, guys. Usually I'll not explain this topic to anyone. Even this topic also I'll give at a very high level and then I stop. But I know that you guys can easily understand this. That's the reason only I was trying to explain you about this. Okay, A, B, C, D, and till it reaches Z, once again it will start with small a, b, c, d. Now, when I start doing the comparison of this one, if small b here is there, right? If you wanted to compare to the capital B, means it need to go for this, means actually for every character, we will be having something called Unicodes.
Sir.
With the help of the Unicode only, this particular alphabet would be identified.
Yes.
Okay, it compares this particular Unicode in this particular lexicographical pattern, and then it will give you that particular result. So now S1 compares to S2. So then it will compare this, and then it will give the value saying that, okay, based upon this Unicode, if exactly this is matched, then it returns 0. If it is the difference is there, then the difference, then it will print the positive value, or it prints the negative value. Okay, if you wanted to understand this, that's an internal algorithm. You need to understand what do you meant by Unicode and how the lexicographical thing will work and how we need to start doing the comparison. So those things we need to understand. But as of now, you just understand that it compares with the Unicode of the characters and then it gives the difference. If difference is positive, then it will, if the difference between the first string and the second string is there, if it is exactly matched, then it will return me the 0. If it is the first string Unicode is greater, then it will print me the positive thing. If it is a second string, the first string is less, then it will print me the negative values. So this is what, as of now, you can understand. Internally, how this works, if you are interested, I can explain that one later.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, I have a doubt over here.
Yes.
Not comparison, but with the case over here, S3 equals to S3, right?
Hmm.
So as you said that it will check the location first and then check the value of it. So
Directly it will check the memory. In that memory, what is the value is there, that it will check that memory value.
Yeah, sir. So hello Kaushi, if you so for string, when we were studying, so hello Kaushi is a literal. So it's gonna occupy one space. It's not gonna repeat again, right? In string pool, it's hello Kaushi will be only once.
Boss, you need to remember that is stored in object, where the object will be stored in heap memory. However, string pool also will be in the heap memory, but here this is an object.
Okay. S is an object, right? S is an object which is used to access hello
S2
Kaushi, right?
is an object. S3 is an object. S is also an object.
Yes, sir. So S is an object. So hello Kaushi is gonna take up a memory space, right? So S3 also has hello Kaushi, right? So hello Kaushi will be there in one location only, right?
No. If I created, see now you created two objects, three objects, man. So how all three objects will point to one memory? See now this the object name is yes. This object name is yes2. This object name is 3. Then heap memory, I have three objects.
Yes, sir. But the literal is one, right? No, in the explanation which was
No.
given there.
I actually use new here, so I think it goes to new. It allocates new memory.
Simple. This is your class. This is your class name. This is your object reference. When you declare this particular object will be created. Now this object value will be created over there. And here this new memory was created in the heap memory. This will be stored, these two things will be stored in the string pool. This will be stored in the heap memory directly as you created the object. But these three are three different objects, not single object.
Yes, sir. The objects are different.
Yes.
But my point was that hello Kaushi is going to be a value which is going to be saved
guys,
in the string. Right?
I think we can continue this one at 12 o'clock because I need to jump at 11:30. A meeting is there. I'll jump for this and then 12 o'clock I'll join back.
Yeah.
Okay. We can join on the same meeting. See you guys. Bye.
Okay, sir.